If so, it is likely you have lost a fish. It's kind of frustrating, and often you wish you could have seen the fish. You get all hyped up, and it ends up you never get to see that fish you hooked into. Well, maybe spearfishing might be just a sport for you. Spearfishing is exactly what it sounds like. It's fishing except with a spear. Oftentimes when fishing, this is a unique sport that is easy to get into and never gets old. It's always fun to spear a fish. I often prefer spearing over fishing because of the unique experiences you get. So today I'm going to teach you the basics of spearfishing. I'm going to talk about all of the different equipment and skills to practice to have a successful spearing trip. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to scout for a lake. Oftentimes you want to check like water clarity, which we learned from experience. Don't listen to people who tell you that, because we had an experience where we showed up and the person said you could see bottom 16 feet of water. You couldn't see a foot. So we always go out maybe like a day or two before we go out and just cut a hole and look down. Usually works pretty good. You want to check the regulations on the lake and make sure there's like not a slot limit or something, because it's hard to spear fish if there's like a slot limit on fish. The second thing you need to do is, well, first we'll have to get all the equipment. So the first thing I have here is ice tongs. These are used to lift the ice blocks out of the water. So you just go like that. Here I have a decoy. There's many different kinds of decoys, but this is the USA one, 000. We use this one a lot because it's just obnoxious. Decoys aren't made to look realistic. They're made to look obnoxious. Like this guy has a rattler in it, and usually he has a tail that comes out with a reflective thing. Just throws out a lot of light. Third, we have a spear, most important part. So here we have a spear. Usually there's like a giant shaft, I guess you could say, on top here. This has barbs right here, and the purpose of these is to keep the fish on if you do spear it. So this is the most important part, because to spear you need a spear. And ice cleats. Ice cleats are really important because if you without these, you're cutting a hole, it's slippery, might end up in the lake, you know. So that isn't fun. Now that we have all the equipment, I'll help you attempt to set up. So first of all, you need to cut a hole, and to cut a hole, you need a chainsaw or an auger. Usually we cut a hole 3 feet by 2 feet, so we have foot blocks. So there's 3 blocks this way, 2 blocks this way, and you want to do the internal cuts first, then you do the border cuts, and then you kick down with your foot and grab these up quick. You gotta lift those up out of the water, and then we usually like to keep our fishing area just the way we left it after we fished it, just to keep it good for nature, I guess you could say. So some people push the blocks under the ice just to hide them. We pull them up, and then after we're done, we push them back in. Some people like to leave the blocks in the water, which I don't agree with personally, because you never know. One night some snowmobiler could be out there and going 60 miles an hour across the lake, and next thing you know, they're in an ice block, and it could be a death or hurt or something, a life-changing event. And again, wear these at all times. I haven't had the experience of falling in, but I don't want to imagine that. So now I'll show you the correct way to throw a spear. So the correct way to throw it is you want to keep a hand on top at all times, just to control the spear. And you want to line the spear up perpendicular to the fish, just because, I mean, you're not going to get a fish shooting it lengthwise. So you want to keep it perpendicular. The point of that is just more chance, I guess you could say. You don't want to throw it hard. This is the one I struggled with most, because I thought you just had to absolutely throw the thing as hard as you could in order to get this fish. But this is already really heavy, so you just drop it pretty much on top of the fish, and it should get the fish, hopefully, if you're right. I missed 7 northerns in one day, so it can get frustrating if you don't know how to throw a spear. hopefully some of these tips can help you like get into the sport. And it's a really, really fun sport to get into. If you know how to cut a hole and throw a spear, I guess you'll be pretty successful in the sport. Oh, and what I was talking about with limits, there's northern limits. Like for some places, they don't want you to spear northerns 23 inches to 26 inches. Maybe they don't want you to spear fish over 40 inches or under 40 inches. It's just really, really important to do this because you just don't want to break the rules and get caught with the DNR because you didn't look up the rules before. You often want to stay in 8 feet of water. 8 to 12 feet of water is recommended. Just easy to throw a spear. Hopefully some of these tips help you get into the sport. And after giving you the basics of spearfishing, maybe some of you might be interested in giving this sport a try. It's a unique sport to try. Today I taught you the basics of spearing to give you a head start in the sport. Overall, spearfishing could be an awesome alternative to getting into if you get frustrated losing fish. Thank you.